My name is Ryan, and I live in Chicago. I work as a freelance software developer, mostly from home. My life is pretty uneventful. Wake up, code, eat, sleep, and repeat. I've always been fascinated by the internet, especially the deep and dark web, the hidden layers of the internet that most people never see. It's where you can find all sorts of things: government secrets, black market deals, illegal services, and things that are far worse. I had always been cautious, never digging too deep. I was aware of the dangers: hackers, government surveillance, and worst of all, people who don't want to be found. But one night, out of boredom, I went too far. It started as a normal night. I had just finished a project for a client and decided to unwind by browsing some hacker forums. I wasn't looking for anything illegal, just curious about what lurked beneath the surface. That's when I came across a thread titled, "The Forbidden Files. Do not click this link." The thread had been deleted by moderators, but not before someone had replied with a reposted link. The replies were strange, some warning others not to open it, others claiming it was just a hoax. A few people said they had visited the site and saw something they couldn't unsee. I hesitated. Was this just some sick joke? A part of me wanted to ignore it, but another part, a darker, more reckless part, was intrigued. I copied the link, opened my Tor browser, and pasted it into the search bar. The page took longer than usual to load. The screen went black. Then a single line of white text appeared. "Are you sure you want to proceed?" I hovered over the yes button. My heart was pounding. This felt different. After a moment's hesitation, I clicked it. The screen flickered. More text appeared. "Welcome. Do not share what you see here." A loading bar appeared. Then the screen changed. At first, it looked like a regular form. Anonymous usernames posted cryptic messages, files, and links. But as I scrolled, I realized this wasn't an ordinary website. The posts weren't just discussing illegal activities, they were documenting them. Live updates of crimes in progress, footage of people being watched in their own homes, coordinates to locations where something had happened or was about to happen. And then I saw a thread titled, "New Visitor Detected." Underneath it, a post. "Welcome, Ryan. We see you." My breath caught in my throat. How did they know my name? I stared at the screen, my mind racing. Was this a trick? Had I been hacked? I moved my mouse to close the browser, but before I could, a video popped up. A grainy black and white feed. It was my apartment. The camera angle was from my window, pointing directly at me. I spun around, my heart hammering against my ribs. I rushed to the window and yanked the blinds open. Nothing. Just the empty street below. I turned back to my screen. The video was still playing, but now there was movement. A shadow. Someone was inside my apartment. I grabbed the nearest thing, a metal lamp from my desk, and crept toward the hallway. My fingers trembled as I reached for the light switch. I flipped it on. Empty. No one was there. I let out a shaky breath, turning back to my desk. I had to shut my computer down. I moved the mouse to close the browser, but the screen had changed again. A new message. "See you soon." The browser closed itself, and then a knock at my door. I froze. No one ever visited me this late. I slowly stepped toward the door, my pulse pounding in my ears. Another knock, louder this time. I stood completely still, not making a sound. Then my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "We know you're home." I didn't move. Then a final message. "You shouldn't have clicked that link." I held my breath. Silence. And then footsteps walking away. I waited for what felt like hours before I finally checked the peephole. The hallway was empty. I locked the door, unplugged my computer, and sat on the floor, my back against the wall. Sleep didn't come that night, but this was just the beginning. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? Every sound outside my apartment made me flinch. Every passing car, every distant footstep in the hallway felt like a threat. I kept replaying the events in my head, the website, the video feed of my apartment, the knock at my door, the text messages. It didn't make sense. How did they know my name? How did they find me so fast? I stayed awake until sunrise, sitting on my couch with the lamp still clutched in my hands. The moment it was light outside, I decided to get out of my apartment. I needed to clear my head, get some fresh air, and convince myself that maybe, just maybe, this was all some elaborate prank. But deep down, I knew it wasn't. I showered quickly, threw on a hoodie, and stepped outside. The city was already awake. People heading to work, traffic starting to build, normalcy. That's what I needed. Just a normal, uneventful day to make me feel sane again. I walked to a nearby coffee shop, ordered a black coffee, and sat by the window. I pulled out my phone, debating whether to tell someone about what had happened. But who would believe me? Hey, I clicked on a dark web link, and now someone is watching me. That sounded insane. I opened my messages. The texts from last night were gone. My fingers tightened around my phone. Deleted? But I didn't delete them. I tried calling the number, but it was invalid. My pulse quickened. Had they erased the messages remotely? I put my phone down and rubbed my temples. Maybe I had imagined it. Maybe it was sleep deprivation messing with me. I took a sip of coffee, trying to shake the paranoia. But then, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something. A man, sitting 2 tables away, dressed in a black coat. He wasn't drinking anything, wasn't looking at his phone. He was staring directly at me. I tried to ignore it. Maybe he was just lost in thought. But after a few minutes, when I glanced back, he was still staring. I shifted in my seat, my heart beating faster. Then, my phone vibrated. A new message. Unknown number. Do not speak to anyone. Get up. Walk out. Now. I stared at the message, my hands shaking. I looked back at the man in the black coat. He was now standing up. I shot up from my seat, nearly knocking over my coffee. The moment I moved, the man did too. He was following me. I pushed through the crowd outside, walking as fast as I could without running. My apartment was 10 minutes away. If I could just get back, lock the doors, and figure out what to do next. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Do not go home. They are waiting. My breath caught in my throat. I turned a corner, glancing over my shoulder. The man was still there, keeping pace. Not running, just walking. Like he knew I had nowhere to go. I needed to lose him. I spotted a subway entrance and darted down the stairs, weaving through the rush hour crowd. I didn't care where the train was going, as long as it got me away from here. I jumped onto the first train that arrived just as the doors were closing. I looked back. The man had stopped at the top of the stairs, watching me. As the train pulled away, I felt a momentary relief. But then my phone vibrated again. Unknown number. Good, keep moving. I felt sick. Who was texting me? Who were they? I needed help, but I couldn't go to the police. What would I even say? That I visited a forbidden website and now I was being hunted. They'd think I was crazy. I had one friend who might believe me, Ethan. He was a cybersecurity expert, the guy who taught me about the dark web in the first place. I texted him, "Dude, something is seriously wrong. I need your help. Can we meet?" A minute later, he replied, "My place. Now." I took the train to his apartment, constantly checking over my shoulder. When I arrived, Ethan was already waiting at the door. He took one look at my face and knew something was wrong. "Ryan, what the hell happened?" he asked, pulling me inside. I told him everything. The website, the messages, the camera feed showing my apartment, the man following me. Ethan's face went pale. "Jesus, Ryan, you're in deep trouble." "No kidding," I snapped. "I need to know how they found me. I was using Tor. My VPN was on. How did they track me down in minutes?" Ethan didn't answer. He walked over to his computer and started typing furiously. "That site you visited, it wasn't just some dark web forum," he said. "It was a honeypot, a trap I swallowed hard." "A trap for what?" "For people like you," he said grimly. "Curious idiots who wander too deep. They let you in, just enough to make you feel like you discovered something secret, something you shouldn't have seen. And then..." He turned his monitor toward me. I stared. It was a live feed of me. Sitting in Ethan's apartment, I shot up from my seat, heart hammering. "They're watching me right now?" Ethan nodded. "Your laptop, your phone, any device with a camera or microphone. They have access." I felt like I was going to be sick. "Can we stop it? Shut it down?" Ethan hesitated. "We can try, but these guys, they don't just track people. They make them disappear. The words sent a chill down my spine. I gripped the edge of the desk. Ethan, what do I do? He exhaled slowly. You need to disappear first. The weight of his words settled in my chest like a boulder. I wasn't just being watched. I was being hunted. Disappear? Ethan's words echoed in my mind, but I couldn't process them. How the hell was I supposed to just vanish? I sat there, breathing heavily, trying to calm the growing panic inside me. Ethan was still typing, scanning through windows filled with lines of code, encryption logs, and IP traces. I ran a hand through my hair. What do you mean, disappear? Ethan didn't look up. I mean, you can't go home. You can't use your phone. You can't use your cards, your ID, anything that connects to you. He finally turned to face me. These people, Ryan, they don't make mistakes. If they found you this fast, you're already marked. Marked. The word sent a shiver down my spine. I checked my phone instinctively. No new messages, no strange calls. But I wasn't stupid. I knew that didn't mean anything. They haven't sent anything in a while, I muttered, staring at the screen. Maybe they lost interest. Ethan shook his head. They don't lose interest. If anything, that's worse. It means they don't need to scare you anymore. I swallowed hard. Why not? He clicked something on his keyboard and spun the monitor toward me. My apartment. Live footage. But the feed wasn't coming from my laptop this time. It was from inside my apartment. A camera I didn't recognize. My blood ran cold. There was movement in the frame. A shadow. Someone was in there. I leaned in, barely breathing. The figure moved slowly through my living room. Then they turned toward the camera. I nearly fell out of my chair. The person was wearing my clothes. A hoodie, jeans, even my sneakers. What the fuck? Stay calm, Ethan said, but his voice was tense. I think they're making a digital clone of you. I looked at him, horrified. A what? They're replacing you, he said. They want people to think you're still living your normal life while they handle you. I shot to my feet. We have to call the cops. Ethan grabbed my wrist. And say what? Hey, officers, the dark web is replacing me with some body double? You'll be locked up for a psych evaluation before they even check your apartment. He was right. I stood there shaking as the figure in the footage walked into my bedroom, out of sight. I felt like I was losing my mind. Who the hell were these people? Then my phone vibrated. I nearly dropped it. I looked down. Unknown number. You were warned. Ethan and I stared at the screen. Then another message. Unknown number. Now you're out of time. Before I could react, Ethan's computer screen went black. The room was silent. Then, bang! A loud, heavy knock at the front door. I froze. Ethan's face drained of color. Another bang, harder this time. Ethan shot up, grabbing my arm. We need to go. Now! I didn't argue. He yanked open the balcony door and motioned for me to follow. We were on the third floor, but there was a fire escape leading down to the alley. Ethan climbed over the railing, moving fast. I swung my legs over and followed. The metal stairs creaked as we rushed down, every sound making my heart pound harder. Then, the door upstairs burst open. A voice, low, calm. He's gone. Ethan grabbed my arm and pulled me into a sprint down the alley. We need to split up, he said between breaths. If we're together, it's easier for them to track us. I hated the idea of being alone, but he was right. Where do I go? Ethan stopped at a dumpster, pulled out a small black bag and shoved it into my hands. Burner phone, cash, fake ID, ditch your phone now. I hesitated. My phone was my only connection to the outside world. Ethan grabbed it and smashed it against the wall. Now they can't track you through it. I swallowed hard. Where do I go? Disappear. Take a bus, a train. Stay in public places. Don't trust anyone. I'll try to clean your data from their system, but I don't know how much time we have. I nodded, backing away. This was real. This was actually happening. Then, a noise. Footsteps. Running footsteps. Ethan's eyes widened. Go! Now I turned and bolted, weaving through alleyways, cutting through crowds, my breath sharp and ragged. I didn't look back. I didn't stop. I just ran. I didn't stop running. Not when my legs burned, not when my lungs felt like they were going to burst. I didn't stop until I was sure I had lost them. I found myself at a bus terminal. It was crowded. Good. I blended in, keeping my head down, trying not to draw attention. Ethan had told me to take a bus or a train, so I forced myself to think logically despite the panic clawing at my chest. I needed to go somewhere far, somewhere random. I walked up to the ticket counter trying to steady my voice. "Earliest bus out of here." The woman at the counter barely looked at me. "Where to?" "Doesn't matter." She gave me a weird look but tapped on her screen. "Bus to Denver leaves in 15 minutes. Denver. Fine. I slid some cash through the window and took the ticket. I glanced around, no signs of them. Yet. I boarded the bus, choosing a seat near the back. The hum of conversation around me helped drown out my racing thoughts. I forced myself to breathe, to think. Ethan had said they were replacing me, creating a digital clone, a false version of my life. But why? What was the point? And what would happen if they caught me? I stared out the window as the bus pulled out of the station, my paranoia growing with each mile. An hour passed, then 2. I was just starting to relax when I noticed something. A man, a few rows ahead of me. He hadn't been there when I got on. Had he? I felt my stomach twist. He was sitting perfectly still, his posture too rigid, too controlled. And then, he turned his head, not quickly, not casually, slowly, deliberately, and he was looking right at me. My breath caught in my throat. I looked away, heart hammering. Stay calm. Don't panic. I pulled out the burner phone Ethan had given me. No messages, no way to contact him. The man hadn't moved. I forced myself to breathe, to think. Maybe he was just another passenger. Maybe I was losing my mind. Then the bus pulled into a rest stop. The man stood up. So did I. I moved toward the exit, trying to act natural. My hands were shaking. I stepped off the bus and into the small, dimly lit rest area. I headed for the bathroom, needing a second to collect myself. Cold water, deep breaths, think. The bathroom was empty. I splashed water on my face and looked at myself in the mirror. I looked like a wreck. I turned off the faucet and grabbed a paper towel. Then, the lights flickered. My stomach dropped. The lights flickered again, then cut out completely. Total darkness. I turned toward the door, heart pounding. Then, footsteps, slow, measured, getting closer. My breath hitched. I backed up until my spine hit the wall. Then a voice, low, calm, right outside the door. "Ryan!" My blood turned to ice. I hadn't told anyone my name. They found me. The voice outside the bathroom door sent a chill through my entire body. They knew my name. I had no way out. No weapon, no plan. Think. I scanned the dark bathroom. There was a vent above one of the stalls. Too small. A window? Numbered just concrete walls and a single exit. The footsteps stopped outside the door. Then, the door handle turned. I didn't wait. I dived into a stall and locked it, pressing my feet against the toilet seat to stay hidden. My heart was pounding so loudly I thought they'd hear it. The door creaked open. Silence. Then slow footsteps against the tile floor. I covered my mouth, trying not to breathe. Tap, tap, tap. Whoever it was, they were checking each stall. One by one, a stall door creaked open, then another, closer. I gripped the burner phone Ethan had given me, my sweaty fingers fumbling to turn it on. Maybe I could call 911 or Ethan or someone. But then the screen lit up, and before I could press anything, a message appeared. Unknown number. "We see you." My stomach dropped. Then, boom! The stall door in front of me slammed open. I barely saw the figure before they grabbed me. A cloth covered my mouth. A chemical smell burned my nose. Chloroform. I kicked, struggled, but my body was already going numb. The last thing I saw before everything went black was the person smiling.